This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Anne-Marie and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR The Real Deal, HR by HR for HR. Hello Katarina.
Hej, klockan klämtar för dig.
And the bells are so ringing in Stockholm. Beautiful. So my dear, what's on your mind?
A lot of things, but I think one of the things that is really exciting right now, so we've been having work from anywhere for close to a year and a half now.
True.
So kind of data sets are coming in and we can see some trends. It's kind of as we all know, it's an experiment that is ongoing. And any company or any person or any expert that says they know what works and not works, they're making that up, right? So we're trying to figure out what is working for us, for our company, for our people, which is the most important. And there were a couple of things that we obviously had as theories or what we wanted to try out, and a couple of things that we were maybe a bit worried about and how would that pan out. So what we see now is for the second year that a bit more people are choosing because we have two kind of choices in the mix model. You can choose a home mix or you can choose an office mix, right? And in the first round, it was 60% that choose to actually have an office mix. And I think that was for a couple of reasons. One, because we came out of work from home,
True.
Forced to be at home. The second thing was that that was connected to that. It wasn't just that you wanted to come in and see your colleagues again, but we recruited a lot of people that never seen Spotify and I think what it used to be kind of, they hadn't come into office sessions, listened to music, they hadn't seen any of our 45 really nice and relevant offices. The vibe that is very hard to get into your home or your house, especially when you're new. I think it's a different thing if you've been with us for a long time and then you choose to be at home and work from home or work from anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So I think those reasons, but it was really interesting to see a couple of things, and we are super happy and glad. We put a bet that we thought it would help us with diversity, and it's been very true that it's easy for us now to recruit more diverse, which is important for every obvious reason, but this is really kind of super happy stats, if you would put it like that. The other thing is that we see tenure is longer, which is important. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's very expensive to recruit new people. It's the same thing as with clients or customer, right? It's more expensive to get new than keep the ones that you have. So we're happy with that, that people stay longer. And then obviously there are other things that, affect that and plays in our way, in our hands, right? In a good way. So these two things, tenure is longer, and then we see attrition is actually lower now than it was before COVID. So we had 0 during COVID. Obviously that is not normal. And then we see the numbers coming up a bit on attrition, but not where we were before. And it was really low before compared to peer companies and other companies, the industry per se, but also country by country, very, very low. So that is up normal, I think, now when people can move. And I think also very strange to, or brave, maybe not strange, but brave to go to a new job during the pandemic. Right. You know what you have, you not necessarily or never know where you're going. So to go out and do an upgrade and rather than the quite tired kind of saying of great destination, it actually turned out to be the great uptake or great opportunity,
right.
And that is what we're seeing.
Can I, on the attrition piece, have you defined for yourself at Spotify where you think is healthy attrition?
Yeah, I think we have, but I think also well known, right? Where is healthy attrition? I think everything below 7 is quite low, especially if you are in a tech industry, if you're a tech company, or in our case, a platform company, right? And if you compare with the other tech companies, when you are as low as 3 or 5, or people stay longer than 5 years. And here is a bit tricky, because we only been around for 17 years, right? So we're not super young anymore. We're like a teenager now, and a mature teenager. But if you compare with other companies that have been around for 50 years, obviously their tenure will be longer. For sure. So it's a bit apples and oranges, but also a bit raspberries and hammocks, right? So you have to be careful in the benchmark. But I think you look at your own numbers and your own stats. So you see in tech industry, a lot of people stay, and the majority stays like 1.7, 1.3, 2. Right. For us, they stay more like 5, 6, 7, and we have so many people that are actually celebrating their 10-year Spotify, which is really, really cool. So people stay. We take that as a good sign, but attrition is such a kind of weapon that people either go, oh, attrition is up. Yes. It's a healthy thing to have attrition, and I think people need to start to really embrace that, and not because you want people to come in and out all the time, but you want the base to be there, right? You want to have long tenures, you build on things, people have like corporate memory, and it's easy for them to navigate and actually get shit done and have fun when you are there longer, which is important. But then the people that come and go, or the people that actually started their career with us, it's good for them to go to university. It's good for them to go somewhere else and try, right? And then you also, you know this for a fact too. There is a lot of people when you start off in a company that are fairly good, to great actually, that you think that the grass is greener. So you have to do that. So we see a lot of boomerangers too, people that want to come back. But here, me and the team, this is something we debate. I think as with attrition, it's good to have a number there that you go, okay, beyond this, we need to monitor, and we really need to know why they're leaving. Yes. And collect that data and see if we can change the things, if it's something that we don't want to. The people that are the good leavers or the bad leavers, right? The regrettable or non-regrettable is very important. So that is actually 4 different types of stats. But I think it's more interesting to actually discuss, boomerangers. And here I have a very strong opinion, like I don't have in other areas. But I have
Katarina, what is your strong opinion?
Is that I don't necessarily think that boomerangers per se is a good thing. I think, when you think about relationships, if I break up, I break up for a reason. Then I go back, usually doesn't really work out. Or why would my partner take me back, right? We split up for a reason. I think it's the same thing with a job, to be honest. So how many people will actually say to their girlfriend or their boyfriend or their fiance or oh, okay, come back and everything will be good. Give it 6 months, and the reason why you left will maybe reoccur. Then you're just back to where you were, but you may be a couple of years later. Then of course you will always have the people or the data or the data points that is the exception. So you have to really, and I think it's also different who actually reaches out and why they reach out. So we have a really cool kind of amount of people coming back too. So I'm not saying that I'm 100% against it, but I don't think that you go out and you come back is a good thing.
No, and I agree with you. I thought you were going to say you're either black or white on the boomerangers, but now you say you're more like, let's look at the stats. Let's be more informative about why are you leaving, but also why do you want to come back? Because I think we talked about learning in so many sessions before, and learning is something that we do on a daily basis, and we should do on a daily basis. And I also think that if you stay long in a company, especially if you have grown up in a company, it makes sense for you to see something else, to broaden your experience and your skill set. And then if you decide that, okay, I've been out of whatever company for quite some years, and I built that toolbox of mine, I'd like to come back. That company that you're coming back to is not the same anymore,
Very true.
right? So it might be that that is also a good reason actually to say, you know, welcome back, because you also add something now, you bring something in that is good for our continued growth as a company.
It is.
So I think
you're right.
I think you, to your point again, you need to look at that data. You need to stay close to your people, understand why are they leaving, and also why do they want to come back after some time, right? Yeah.
But I think I think there are a couple of reasons that are very clear when it's easy. I mean, okay, so let's face it. Some people don't necessarily go eye to eye with their manager.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with the manager.
True.
The manager is not there anymore. You want to come back. Okay, so should we then say no if everything else is good and everything was all good? No, so you welcome back. Or, hey, I got a job that was maybe 1 level up or 2 levels up. We didn't have an open position on that level.
Exactly.
So I left for that, but I wanted to stay,
Right.
but I didn't get the chance, and I was ready to take my next kind of leap.
Yeah.
So of course you're welcome back. But if you were complaining, if you didn't really like it, if you didn't get the culture, or the change was too constant, or there was never change, or whatever it is, you will not have changed your culture or your way of doing things so much that the person, when he, she, they come back, that they will not feel that, ooh, okay, this is not again what maybe my cup of tea. And I think that is actually, you will save your kind of pain, and more important, that person's pain. Because I think, you know, if you're big enough as an organization, you can handle a couple of people that are not necessarily all that happy. But as individual, hey, that could be disastrous if you go to work every day and you don't feel. And the other thing that I think we should talk a bit more about in every organization is this. If you come into a job and everything is wrong, your manager is wrong, your job is wrong, the culture is wrong, everybody is like wrong, and you stay, it actually says more about you than the company.
Definitely.
And these are the things that sometimes I think we are not helping individuals by not saying, you know, why are you here if everything is so wrong? And I think we all work with people that were professionals, they had the skill, they actually did their job, but they were so unhappy. When they leave and want to come back because the grass was not greener and everything was even more bad over there, I think you have also an obligation for everybody else in the organization that when people are constantly, not constructively, negative,
Right.
it's a big part of everybody else's environment, no matter if you are distributed first, like we are, or if you come into an office. Well, of course, if people are distributed and you don't see people all the time, you don't bump into them all the time, and they're not part of your day-to-day or minute by minute, maybe it's easier. But I think that is very important that you, again, talk to people in the sense of, hey, let's mirror your behavior, what you say, and we all know that behavior is contagious. And we all have to sometimes ask ourselves when we look into the mirror, when we brush our teeth, or whenever we look in our mirror.
Exactly, whenever
we do that,
or
right?
don't.
Yeah, then you have to look, is my behavior, is that worth catching, right? If it's contagious.
Right.
And then sometimes I've been in a bad mood for a week. Hey, that is okay. Or you have a bad day, that is okay. And you can always apologize to, right, if you have a bad day. But if that is every day, shouldn't you then consider to go somewhere else? And then shouldn't you also maybe think about when that person applies to come back?
Exactly.
So back to work from anywhere. I think it's treating us well. We're sticking to our guns. We see a lot of companies they talked about hybrid, going into hybrid, knowing everything about the hybrid, launching hybrid, and then boom, we have recession. And they're like, I need all my people back in the office.
Back in the office.
Or boom, I came into the office and nobody was there. I need to control that they're doing work, so I call my people back again. Or boom, hey, I'm not really sure if people are doing what they're doing and supposed to be doing. So let's decide that you need to be in the office several days. I think it's been easy for us to choose this. It does not work for everybody. They can come into the office every day. I'm one of the people that actually love to be in a office. It doesn't have to be the office where I spend most of my time, like in Stockholm, but a office. I need the energy. I want to have these micro kind of interactions with people. I want to collaborate. I want to interrupt people, because I do that a lot, because I get excited. You say something and I want to add on that. And that is how I thrive. But some people want to be in the quiet part of the office, and they can't have a quiet like piece of their apartment, or even if they go to a hotel lobby. So all these things. So we want to keep the offices. We're going to keep the 2 models. A bit more people on the second year are choosing to do the home mix, but we also see the home mixers coming in a lot to the office, right? So we monitor that. We also see that, offsites where we come together, we plan, we strategize. These things are very, very important to people. And, you need to build memories together. Like when you have memories, you've been laughing about things and you get to know each other, so much easier to do big things and really kind of come together and ship things, right? So it goes back to the thing that we know. Humans want to interact, but humans want to interact in different ways. So how do you actually then service that in a way that is relevant, it's helpful, and that we know that people are making sure that they can actually do really good work. So again, the things that we said when we launched the program are still very important. So how does this help? And not help when it comes to mental health? How does it help and not help to recruit in new talent pools that we were not able to do before? Are we able to recruit even more diverse going forward? Because I think we cracked a couple of codes now. And how can we do that? Will this actually be more attractive, but not necessarily help us with retention? So far, it actually helps with both. So we want to look into that. And then what happens with collaboration and what happens with creativity and innovation. Exactly. And that is still quite early for us to say, like, the data says this, but we have some indications of data right now, and then a couple of things that we would like to continue to kind of monitor.
And learn.
Yes, and I think one of the biggest kind of, if I would say one thing that people say, it was just, I think, important for any company or any individuals that's thinking about this is people also look for guidance. A lot of teams say, it would be nice if the company told us when to come in. And this company doesn't want to do that. Back to the grown-ups, right? We say, but why don't you elaborate in your teams and decide what days you want to have team days or anchor days, as we call them, right? When is the team in, so you can go for lunch or have a laughter or talk to each other, or because talk you can do with all the tools you have, but it's not actually the same. Or when do we travel if we have people in different offices or different locations or different countries? When do we do that? But having a bit of more planned ways, so it works for everybody and their private lives too. So we're learning.
I think it makes sense also, because when you do come into the office, you don't want to come into an office that is empty, right? You come into the office for a reason. You come into the office to meet people, so you want people to be there. So I think elaborating with the team to say these are the meetings or these are the anchor days that we are having makes a lot of sense, for sure. What you did now was absolutely brilliant. You gave us like sort of a few glimpses of the learnings on the Work From Anywhere program, but you also pitched for me to page some of your team members now to have follow-up VODs. So I'm paging Gary to come and share, on that data. I'm also paging Johanna on the learning side. I'm paging who else? Lynn on the mental side. And I'm paging
Elizabeth Nieto, that has not been here, talking about diversity, inclusion, belonging.
Exactly.
And equity, obviously. What does that mean?
True. Yeah. Elizabeth hasn't been there. Yeah. Elizabeth, you're on.
Yeah.
Who else?
And then for sure our A team, Alex and Anna, that is the mother and the father of work from anywhere.
Maybe we could, maybe they can come both of them. So we would do a trio conversation. What do you say?
Or what if you do a panel, like a VOD with all of them?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
We're all set.
So I was welcomed back for a while, and then my team is back again. So, but what to do when you have the best team in? You're blessed with the best team in the world.
You have a great team.
I do.
Yes.
I'm very blessed.
Yeah, you are. Lucky you.
Yes.
Lucky team.
Yes.
Katarina. Okay. Three things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yes.
Are you good?
I don't know, but let's see. Let's try it.
Let's go.
Stay safe, stay strong, stay active.
Nej.
Idemedalje.
Idemedalje.
And then boom or boom or boom.
Look, we have the church singing for us.
Okay, maybe we should wait until.
Can we have the church singing?
If you want. Okay, let's do that.
That's beautiful. Okay.
LFG.
Let's fucking go.
Yes.
Yeah. Or let's freaking go. Maybe more.
Did I hear the F word?
More political. Hello, Katarina.
Hello.
Vänta.
Hello. Palm sweat or what? Vänta.
I wasn't ready.
Okay. I love how you start and you're not ready.
No, it was too quick. Okay. Are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, let's do it. Are you good?